Right, well, hello the internet now that Adobe Rush has finally decided to work after an hour of it being open. Welcome back to, I believe, a terraforming episode. Is this all terraforming? It very well might all be terraforming, so I'm sorry if that's not your thing, but I have successfully managed to film all of the footage I need to cover the next couple of weeks because I've got to bulk record voiceovers in the next week for the 2 weekends that I'm not going to be able to do them because I'm going to France. And I'd like to apologise that there's been a delay on Ghost Goes Places. I put the first episode and thought, I'll be able to do this weekly. Yeah, no, it turns out I have 19 minutes of footage from Cobra Warrior. That's going to take some going through. So I haven't quite done it yet, but honestly, I don't know when that's coming out. Let's be just so honest. Anyways, talking about today's build, I am trying to finish off sections of the kind of like coastline. I had spent a couple of hours before recording this trying to dig away as much as I needed because that takes forever. Even in creative, it takes a very long time to terraform, and I choose not to use things like world edit. I don't want to try and convince my laptop that that's a great idea. So to help try and blend some of this area in, I decided to build a bunch of big boulders, which to start with I just worked out the shapes using cobblestone and then started mixing in my mossy cobble, andesite, and I don't think I did tuff on these ones. I did on some later ones, but I did all of that kind of then. I didn't have any logic to this. Some later ones that I've done, I've put the andesite at the top because it's the light colour and the tuff at the bottom because it's the dark colour, so it kind of shades it a bit. But these ones I honestly just threw it on, and I'm making sure to mix in slabs and stairs at this point to try and give it some more dimension. That's kind of my logic to it. Yeah. I don't really know what to say about this. This is the one downside to me doing terraforming episodes, especially if I haven't had much going on. I have no idea what to talk about. Oh, I brought Faber-Castell colouring pencils, the Polychromos line, because I have been wanting those for years. And I finally caved and brought them because Hobbycraft had a sale on, and I was like, okay, we'll buy now. Going back to the build, I tried to smooth out this section of like the riverbank, I guess it technically is. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think part of it is it needs to continue all the way down, and the other side by the military base just looks bland at the minute, which is going to take some fixing because there's already structures there. But we have improved since we started that project. We will see how it goes. Yeah, that's kind of all I can say about it. Oh, I did a bunch of benches using campfires as benches, as well as just your regular kind of stair and trapdoor bench. So there's seating. I then apparently began working a bit on the market and then ditched it because I decided to keep that for its own episode. Just deciding to connect this section of the flooring up, immediately just doing it in whatever colours and blending it back in. I don't think there was really any reason behind doing this other than I thought it looked weird. A lot of what I do on this Minecraft world is me looking at something going, oh, I need something there, or, oh, I need something there. I need to put a tower at some point, to be fair, to throw just some additional heighting, because a lot of my houses that I've built all come up to the same size. So it then starts making the whole place look very flat. Obviously that's fixable. This is Minecraft, nothing is permanent. But we'll see where it goes. I'm not going to be building anything for a few weeks now. Though saying that, if I have a chance next week and I'm not doing anything, I might. What else did we do? Oh yeah. So I then went in and finished off this staircase so I could start blending around my paths. A lot of this was trying to work out where is there not space to build a structure, where is there going to be space to build a structure, so that gradually I can start finishing off sections much sooner. I want to have like the lower part of the harbour done before I particularly go any further back, but I don't know how much I'm going to stick to that, because a lot of the stuff I want to build makes more sense to be built further up. I want there to also be a lot of winding pathways, so that does take a bit of time to put all of that in and work out where it's going, and when I already have existing builds, I then have to work out where it's going to go again. So it's taken me a while to work out exactly the layout I want, plus I'm moving up a steeper part of the mountain. It's not particularly fun to try and work out. I've got paths starting to go up a section of the mountain, but that's going to go to where I'm going to build like a church or something, because that makes sense to me to put a church on top of the hill. Here's my path going to where I was talking about. I don't go up the mountain in this one. That is at a later point, of which I was watching the first episode of the new season of Jet Lag, because I love that series. But yeah, my paths, once again, are being done with coarse dirt and rooted dirt, as well as a bit of packed mud to add a different colour in. There's no logic behind this other than that's what I've kind of assigned as my pathways. It does obviously vary. There's areas that are just like packed mud and bricks. There's the cobblestone, but in my opinion, that's all more in like the main towns. It makes sense. These ones just are meant to look like they've been trodden in over time. I went in and added a few more rocks. There is a car pulling up outside. There's every shot that is my mum, which means I have to go do stuff. So good thing I'm getting this voiceover done. I do have another to record though. Oh, I then wanted to turn a section into mud, so rather than completely just breaking it and placing down mud, I covered it up in cobblestone so that it would get rid of the grass and I could water bottle it. To be fair, I do find that a generally more satisfying way to do mud, but it's obviously by no means the most efficient and creative. So what else have I done? Oh, I went and blended the backs of these new boulders out, started turning everything into mud so that it looks nice. Connected all of the mud up on the riverbed. That's something else that I did. Honestly, this is a bit all over the place as to what I was doing. I wish I had more space to do like a bigger mud flat. I potentially will going forwards. I can terraform in advance to do that. But I'm happy with this. I really like how this section of the build has turned out. It kind of blends the fact that there's almost a very abrupt ending to the town. The warehouse that I had built a couple months back looked a bit awkward, and then the paths all starting to come around actually helps quite a lot in my opinion. It kind of guides. I've also found that a lot of the builds, they actually look better on the ground than looking up in the air, so I need to remember that and try not to judge my builds as much, but I think it's starting to all come together. And that is it for the internet. For today, the internet, goodbye.